Okay, looks like we're good to go. All right, so yeah, thanks for joining us, Mike Sullivan, who's the agent on this application, and Mark Spadafora, he's the owner. I'm Daryl Vanderveen, junior planner at the town of Fort Erie. This is the information open house for the the application for combined official plan and zoning bylaw amendment for 0-10546 DiPietro Street. And Mike, I understand you have a presentation for us.
I do. Thanks very much, Daryl. I'm going to share the screen so I can put this through. Just let me. Can you see the screen? Let me actually.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, probably the wrong one. I think I shared the wrong one. Let me just try that one more time. I'm going to share two, which is there. Can you see the screen?
We can, but it's in presenter mode.
I knew that would be the case. Somehow they. Okay. I'm having some technical challenges here. We'll try one more time. And that's why don't I'll just take it in this mode. How about that? Keep it simple. Okay, so thank you, Daryl. My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm the president of Land Pro Planning Solutions, located in Niagara, and we've been hired by Mark Spadafora on behalf of the owners of the property to go forward with an official plan and zoning bylaw amendment for this property, and eventually some residential severances. So purpose of today is to go through and give you some information. I'm going to be looking at my other screen, so if I don't look at you, it's because I'm looking at information that I'm presenting to you. I believe Daryl is fielding the questions tonight, so I'll just go ahead with the application. This is an open house, and right there is the subject property. So we have Thompson Road and we have Garrison Road here, and it's just on the northeast quadrant of it, in the area outlined in red. That's an aerial photograph, an oblique aerial photograph. You can see in the back top left corner, you can see the Walmart area and the LCBO, etc. That's all in the top corner. You can see in the top right hand side, you can see QEW with Thompson Road and Garrison Road there, and the area outlined in red is the subject property. So what we're doing here is, that's from Street View, Google Street View. I have been to the property, but that's just a Street View image of what's there currently. My client is proposing to redevelop this property and requires an official plan amendment and a zoning bylaw amendment, and eventually we'll be getting severances on the property. So what we're looking for, what we've applied to the town for, is an official plan amendment going from commercial to urban residential. And we're applying for rezoning to go from a C2 or general commercial exception 155, which permits the current uses on the property, and where you'd like to go to an R3 residential zone, which would allow single detached houses on the property. To put that in a graphic format, you saw before the drawing of the property. So this area here is the existing building that I showed you in the street view. There's a building behind there, and what's happening is this entire property is going from commercial, which is shown as yellow, and it's being proposed as residential, which is shown as blue.
Mike, it's part one is only on that drawing is the part that is going to be going to the residential.
Thank you for confirming.
Part two stays the same.
There you have it. It's clarified. Thank you. So there was some confusion. I got this from our planning report, so thanks for clarifying, Mark. So part one, which is up here, I can actually probably do a quick change, but part one is the subject. So it's going to sever it off. We're going to sever it off eventually here, that location, leaving part two, and part one will be severed off for 3 houses eventually. So there it is in a little bit more detail. This will be under separate application, but we're going from part one, which Mark talked about, over to 3 severances for eventually for houses. Correct? And that is the application. That's the end of my presentation. I'll just leave the I'll leave that up there. And Daryl, I'll open for your questions or any public questions.
Sure. I think I'll just run through mine real quick too.
Sure.
And then we'll go to questions if that's fine. Okay, so you can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on a few things. So yeah, again, this is the information open house for the combined official plan and zoning bylaw amendment for the lot on DiPietro Street. Excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. So this meeting is intended to obtain some initial feedback from members of the public before we hold the formal public meeting at a future council and committee meeting date. So this proposal is for development of 3 single detached dwellings fronting onto DiPietro Street. That's correct, right, Mark? You're proposing 3 singles?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So an official plan amendment is required to change the land use designation from commercial to urban residential, as Mike mentioned. A zoning bylaw amendment is also required to change the zoning from general commercial C2 115 zone to a site-specific residential 3R3 zone. The subject property is located in the Walden neighborhood of the town of Fort Erie on the southeast corner of DiPietro Street and Murdoch Avenue. The following summarizes the land uses surrounding the subject property. To the north, Murdoch Avenue, a commercial use and vacant residential land. To the south, commercial uses. To the east, DiPietro Street and single detached dwellings. And to the west, a small laneway owned by the town, a former rail corridor owned by the town that functions as open space, and single detached dwellings. The subject property is designated commercial in the town's official plan. An official plan amendment is required to change the land use designation to urban residential to permit development of residential uses. Single detached dwellings are a permitted use under the urban residential land use designation. And as I mentioned earlier, the development site part 1 is currently designated commercial in the town's official plan. Again, the subject property is currently zoned general commercial C2 115 zone in the town zoning bylaw. The zoning of the subject property is proposed to change to a site-specific residential 3R3 zone. That zone permits single detached dwellings. And we think a site-specific provision will also be required for reduced lot frontage for the northern corner lot. Mark and Mike, just so you're aware. This is a survey sketch provided by the applicant. So these are the 3 proposed lots. They're intended again for single detached dwellings that would be fronting on a DiPietro Street. And a site-specific provision will be required for reduced lot frontage of part 1 on this plan, which is the corner lot.
Well, yeah.
And that concludes the presentation. Sorry?
So we need a minor variance on that.
Well, you're coming in for a zoning bylaw amendment anyway, so you could build the 1 lot with deficient frontage in as part of the zoning bylaw amendment. It would just have a site-specific regulation that permits reduced lot frontage for that lot.
It's all under the same application, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so we'll take questions from members of the public. As of right now, the only one in attendance is Bev. So Bev, I'll bring you on. You'll get a prompt asking if you want to join as a panelist. So just click yes, and then we'll be able to have questions and hear any comments you may have.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep, we can hear you.
I don't have any questions. I was just interested to see what was going to be. I'm just sort of across that old rail line from the property, and just interested to see what was going to happen with it. I've got no problems or concerns with what you've said.
Okay, great. Yeah, so just so you know, Bev, we will be holding another public meeting before council in a couple months' time. So I'll reach out and send you notice of a public meeting when that occurs, just in case you want to follow the application along as it moves through the planning process.
Sure. I was certainly concerned when the first part of the presentation, I thought it was going to end up removing the Italian hall, and that would be a loss to the community, but it looks like that isn't the case. So yeah.
That was my error. So thanks to Mark for correcting it.
Yeah. So I have no concerns. I'm happy with the development. Yeah.
Okay. And actually, before you go back, and Mark, just a point of clarification, I think you have actually severed part 1 from the remnant lands, correct?
Yeah, it's done now.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right, sounds good, Bev. Yeah, so I'll keep in touch throughout the process, and feel free to, submit comments or participate as we move along.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Yeah, so I did respond to that other resident who emailed in some questions. I sent him back an email, so maybe he won't be attending. So maybe if you guys just want to give it a few more minutes, see if anybody joins, then I think you're free to go, and I'll just keep the meeting open and monitor it until 6 p.m.
So the public meeting, that's the April 4th one?
Mark, your connection is it's kind of a bit sporadic right now.
Oh, okay. The April 4th meeting, that's the next public hearing?
Yeah, that's the formal public meeting required under the Planning Act. So that will take place. Sorry, go ahead.
And is that the same time as the council? Is that different timing? Okay, so it's all like once we're approved through that meeting, then it's done, and then you're off to the races.
Yeah, the rezoning and official plan amendments would be together and decided by council, I guess, subsequent to that, Daryl?
Yeah.
You'd have to do a recommendation report to council. They'd make a decision after the public meeting, and then you're done.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll just send that email over to you guys quickly, just so you can see what issues were raised by that other resident.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, just sent it.
I received it. Thank you. So should I respond to this?
I actually already did respond to it.
Perfect.
Did you want to see my response, or?
It wouldn't. I guess it wouldn't hurt, but just so when we go to the public meeting, can respond to council if they have any questions.
Sure.
So I guess the question is, there is a question about the it looks like a laneway between between the old rail line and the lots. Is that actually what it is?
Yeah, it's part of a laneway from on the original old plan of subdivision.
Yeah, registry
Actually,
plan
maybe I'll pull up our mapping.
453 is what it's called, I guess.
Right.
Always love surveys because they show things that you never knew existed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll just share my screen here real quick. Yeah, this is an interesting neighborhood because a lot of the original plan of subdivision got wiped out when they built the QEW. Right of ways for that.
I wonder if the town would ever sell some of that, the property behind there where the train tracks used to be.
Yeah, I think most of the old rail corridor is considered open space and zoned open space, so we'd hold on to that. Like perhaps it could be a trail connection or just remain wooded, but there is some potential to dispose of those laneways, I think. You can see my screen?
Yes, I can. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, this is the laneway back here.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it's actually on both sides of that rail corridor, extending north and a little bit south.
So it looks like the rail corridor was a bit wider in this area, and maybe that was just a remnant from it.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't uncommon to have rear laneways for garbage pickup and stuff back then either. So it could be that's what that was intended for originally.
So for Mark's benefit, if he wanted to, if the owner of the property wanted to go and purchase that, they'd have to approach council to close the road and purchase that from them.
Yeah, we have a process where you could submit a request to purchase town land. I think we might have actually talked about this, Mark, back in the day. I can't recall, but I think going through this combined official planning and zoning bylaw amendment is recommended because the land sales process can take a while in certain cases, and we do have a huge backlog on those. So it's definitely an option in the future, I think, but it's good to get the Planning Act approvals first, and then maybe explore that later.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Thanks for that. That helped.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I think I'll be doing a pin search on that just to make sure that it is still in our ownership. But as you saw in the mapping there, it's shown as part of the road allowance. So. All right, well, that other individual hasn't joined yet, so they may not be joining. So I think Mark and Mike, you're free to leave if you'd like to do so, and I'll just like I say, monitor the meeting until 6.
Okay.
In case we have any late arrivals.
Thanks very much for this, Daryl. Appreciate it. Nice to see you, Mark.
Yeah, nice to have you meet online.
Take care. Good night.
Yeah, have a good day.
Oh, Daryl, while I have you on here, for Gorham, we're just about done with the application on that one. You know,
Okay.
I had to get, there's a ton of stuff we had to do on that one, and we had to get all that, the NPC setback, all that kind of thing amended. So we're just finishing it all right now.
Okay.
So once
yeah, so I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I'll send it. It'll probably be Friday or Monday. So
Okay.
once we submit that, well, what do you think the backlog will be for the dates, like for the neighborhood meeting and such?
Let me take a look here. Yeah, we do have a couple others coming on stream as well, but and we do kind of bring them through on a first come first serve basis. So Friday, Monday, if you can get it in, then that would be good. And then I think we could look at, let's see here. Might be able to get it on in May for public meeting before council.
And then the the public meeting or the neighborhood meeting would be what, March?
Yeah, it would be in a couple weeks' time after we complete the application, because we do like to have a 2-week period
Okay.
from when we mail the notice. Then we
Yeah, no,
typically
you always have to
schedule the meeting 2
review
weeks
and
after. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll be in touch on Friday or Monday.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Daryl.
Yep, have a good day. Okay, any members of the public that may be watching this live stream on YouTube, this public meeting is going to be held open until 6. We don't have any members of the public in attendance right now, so I'm going to shut off my camera and let the presentation cycle through. I will be monitoring the attendee list, so if anybody does want to join in late and discuss it or leave some feedback, feel free to do so. Also, the last slide of the presentation does contain some information on how to join the meeting if you're joining late.